A very good morning, students. Hope you all are safe and healthy. Yesterday, we have finished the poem Rakhi, composed by Bikram Seth. We have done the hope you all have completed your written work also. Now, my dear students, whatever chapters we were supposed to do in March, April literature, we have almost finished. Now, what you people have to do now, your work starts. You have to continuously learn the things. Okay, keep on learning so that anytime when we are ma'am ask us to take one more test, you people just rock. Okay, you score very good mark. Now, today we are going to discuss something more about punctuations. This is not a new topic for you people. It is an old topic. You people have done it in class 4 also, class 5 also, and little bit some certain things that you people had learned in contraction. Last year we had done contraction, so you people might be remembering those contraction also will be included in this punctuation part, right? So good morning all of you. So what is the thought for today? Today thought is life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Means we should not stop. Though whatever circumstances there, it may be difficult, it may be easy. We should not stop. We should keep on moving so that we move. We every day we move a little. We go towards success. Now let's have some intro to punctuation. See what kind of things are you able to see on the slide. See, you are able to see full stop, you are able to see comma, I think you are able to see question mark, exclamatory mark, such things you are able to see. Huh? So these are all the parts of punctuation marks. So what is punctuation? A punctuation mark is a symbol such as a full stop or period, comma or question mark that you use to divide written words into sentences and clauses. Again, let me repeat. A punctuation mark is a symbol such as a full stop or period, comma or question mark that you use to divide written words into sentences and clauses. Now you people will say that you people have studied sentences. Now what are the clauses? See, clause is also a kind of sentence. Okay, a clause has a clause is further it's of two types. We will study further in next class. Clauses are of two kinds, main clause and subordinate clause. So there can be two types of clauses that we will be discussing in some other topic, not today. So you should understand that clause sometimes has its own subject and its own verb. Like suppose if I say I like tea, my sister like, and my sister likes coffee. Here these two sentences have been combined with the conjunction and. So there are two clauses. I will say there are two clauses that have been combined with the help of conjunction and. Right? If I say I got punishment because I was late to the class. Now see again here there are two clauses that have been combined with the help of conjunction because. So these are clauses. Understood? Now see, the very first and important thing in punctuation mark is full stop. What is it? Full stop. See, what is this made? A circle. It is full stop. See, full stop has got its eye, its smiling lips, because if you will put it in a correct place, it will feel happy. So, and seriously beta, you people most often forget to full stop, and you remember that I told you that for one full stop you people lose 0.25 marks. Means if four places you people have not put full stop, it means 1 mark has gone. So please do take care of these punctuation marks. So this is what is this is full stop. Now see, a full stop should always be used to end a sentence. The full stop indicates that a point has been made that and that you are about to move on further explanation or a related point. Means you have conveyed one thing and after putting full stop you are moving towards the next idea, next thought. You have cleared one point very clearly. So this is what is full stop. This is indicated by the full stop. If you have put a full stop, it means you have completed your idea that you wanted to convey in a particular sentence. Hope it is clear to you all. Now next thing is comma. See what is it made? Comma. This is a comma. So there are some rules, like you rule number 1, use comma to separate words and words or word of groups in a simple series of 3 or more items. Like we had coffee, comma, cheese, comma, crackers and grapes. See, now we are getting 2 3 things in a sentence, like coffee, cheese, cracker. So we have separated them with the help of comma. Now see, rule number 2, use a comma to separate two adjectives when the order of the adjectives is interchangeable. When interchangeable means we can replace the place of the adjective. Like we can say he is a strong, comma, healthy man. We can say he is a healthy, comma, strong man. Clear? So he is a strong, comma, healthy man. See, two adjectives we are using for this man, and we have put a comma to separate these two adjectives. We can put and also, okay? Like he is a strong and healthy man. Now suppose if I add one more adjective, he is a strong, comma, healthy and uh, sincere man. Okay? So with the help of comma, we have separated these adjectives. Now here comma continues here also. Rule number 3, use comma to set off non-essential words. Non-essential words or clauses that occur mid-sentence must be enclosed by commas. Now see, right now we were talking about clause. Here clause comes, who is my sister. Now see, what is the subject of this clause? Who is the subject of this clause? Is the verb. What is the verb subject of the whole sentence? Jill is the sentence and is the verb. Okay, so there is this is a sentence, Jill is a well-known doctor, and what is the clause? Who is my sister. So this who is working as the subject of this clause. So don't get confused right now in clause and sentences. First let us understand the punctuation mark only. Jill, comma, who is my sister, comma, is a well-known doctor. Now see, here Jill is being identified as, there are two identification given of Jill. What are the two identification? First is who is my sister, comma, is a well-known doctor. So see here, these commas are very clearly defining her identity, that what is she, who is she is my sister. I'm emphasizing that she is my sister is a well-known doctor. So this has also been separated with the help of comma. The same sentence can be written in some other way without using this clause, just with a phrase like Jill, comma, my sister is a well-known doctor. Jill, comma, my sister, comma, is a well-known doctor. So this identity we have separated with the help of comma before and after subject. Now exclamatory mark. See, exclamatory mark. This is what is exclamatory mark now. First we put a line and then we put a dot. Exclamation marks were originally called the note of admiration. They are still to this day used to express excitement. They are also used to express surprise, astonishment, or any other such strong emotion. This we have discussed so many times, that exclamatory marks are used to show strong emotions. Any exclamatory sentence can be properly followed by an exclamatory mark to add additional emphasis. Again see, they are still originally called the note of admiration. Means if you are admiring somebody, then also you can use this exclamatory mark. Now let's see one more example. What a beautiful house. So here we are, you can say you are showing your surprise also, or we can say that we are showing here our admiration for we are admiring what? The house, the beautiful house. Now question mark. See, this is a question mark. Question marks are used in both formal and non-formal writing, and in case where direct and indirect questions are being asked. When we ask a question, we use what? We use a question mark. Like for example, are you happy to be home? Nowadays we all are at home. Are you happy? Tell me. Yes or no? Yes, you all are happy, huh? Having fun. Are you happy to be home? Question mark. Where have you kept the keys? Now see, where have you kept the keys? One is starting with helping verb, one is starting with a question word, and both are sentences are used to ask a question. Here we are putting the question mark. Now colon. You use a colon to connect two sentences when the second sentence summarizes, sharpens, or explains the first. See, this is colon, two dots. Okay, two dots. He got what he worked for. He got what he worked for. This is what, see what is he saying? You can use a colon to connect two sentences when the second sentence summarizes, sharpens, or explains the first. Summarizes, sharpens means makes it more clear and is an explanation to the first part. He got what he worked for. He really earned that promotion. So this is what is going doing. This he really earned that promotion is summarizing this sentence. In this first sentence we are not getting very clearly that he has got a promotion. He got what he worked for means he might be working very hard to get a promotion. Okay, so what how we are expressing this same thing? He got what he worked for, right? And second sentence is saying he really earned that promotion. It is summarizing this whole sentence, clearly giving an idea and also explaining the first sentence that what he worked for. He worked for his promotion and that is what he has got. Now semicolon. Colon was two dots and semicolon is one dot, one comma. Dot and comma. Not upper side. Many times you people ask, many of you ask, ma'am, on the top or at the bottom? So it comes on the bottom, downside, okay, downwards. The most common use of the semicolon is to join two independent clauses without using a conjunction like and. Okay, we don't use and. Without using and, when we join the sentences, we use this semicolon. The group of words that comes before the semicolon should form a complete sentence. The means it should be a complete sentence in it. What is the definition of complete sentence? I told you a subject should be there, a verb should be there. A verb, subject is these two things are, if you should understand that verb is the soul of a sentence. Like if in our body soul will not be there, we will die, we will be of no use. Similarly, if there will be no verb in a sentence, it will not be a sentence at all. So to make a sentence, it is very important that it should have a verb. It can be a verb to be, it can be a helping verb, it can be a main verb, but verb should be there. Like she is a girl. She is a girl. What is the verb? Is the girl. Okay, is giving, making this sentence. If I say she girl, it is not a sentence. These are just two mere words. Okay, these are not, this is no, these words will not be called a sentence. A sentence should always have a verb. He is working hard. He is working hard. What is the word? Verb is working. Okay, compound verb is working. Verb, auxiliary verb as well as the main verb. If I say she hard, does it give any sense? No sense. It is, these are just two mere words, not a sentence. So for making a sentence, it is important that you have the soul, you have the verb. Okay, so the group of words that comes before the semicolons should form a complete sentence. The group of words that comes after the semicolon should form a complete sentence. Means before and after semicolon, whatever sentence is coming, it should be a complete sentence. And the two sentences should share a close logical connection. There should be some logic with in both the sentences. Martha has gone to the library, semicolon. Andrew has gone to play soccer. Martha has gone to the library. Andrew has gone to play soccer. Now see, Martha has gone. Martha is the what? Subject. Has gone is what? Verb. Andrew is the subject and has gone is the verb. So these two means this shows that what is the logical connection between these two sentences? This shows that Andrew is not with Martha and Martha is not with Andrew. They both are at separate different places. Apostrophe. In contraction, one or more letters have been omitted. The apostrophe shows this omission. See, this we have done in class 5 also. Like for example, I am. Then under the topic contraction, we have studied this topic. Okay, so if you remember, I am. What this short form, how this I have made the short form of this, contracted form of this? I comma am. Do not, what, how we have made don't. So these are the examples. Don't becomes do not, am become I am, shouldn't become should not, didn't become did not. So these are the you contracted forms of these words. Do not's contracted form is don't, should not's contracted form is shouldn't, did not's contracted form is didn't. So we have contracted them. Now apostrophe, continue. To show possession by a singular noun, add apostrophe mark and as to the singular form of the word even if it ends with the letter S. Example, the owner's car. Example, James' hat. Now see here, some books accept this and some books accept it without this S also. So you can find both kind of things in books. Okay, I have included that thing also in this PPT. Now add apostrophe s and s to the plural forms that do not end in s, like cat. It is not ending with this is a singular noun. Cats, dogs. Its plural will become cat. See, add s apostrophe to the end of the plural that ends in s. Now see here, it is ending with the s, cats. What have I done? Only apostrophe mark. Dogs ending in s, only apostrophe mark. Plural noun ending in sheep, like sheep. For one sheep also we use sheep. For plural form also we use sheep. Deer we use singular form also deer, and for plural form also we use deer. So we have put apostrophe mark and s. Now see, I have taken some more examples. Plural noun, women. Its plural with apostrophe becomes women's. What we have done, only apostrophe mark and s we have added. Okay, we have not, because it is already a plural form. What is the singular form of spelling of women? WOMAN, woman. Woman is the singular form and women, WOMEN, women is plural form. So when we make its apostrophe, how do we form? We put apostrophe mark and s. Clear? Students. Now see, students, this is ending in s. So what we have done? We have just simply put a apostrophe comma, no s again, because already there is a s. Now boys. Here it will be boys. Sorry, this is a little wrong. S will come here and then only comma. This s will not come here. Okay, boys, s will come here and then comma. Any singular noun ending in s, like Mr. Thomas, Suhas. See, they are ending in s. There is only s in the end. These are what? Names. Okay, these are what? Names. So what we have done? We have put just simply an exclamatory, sorry, apostrophe mark. Simply. Now, but some books accept s also. As in the previous slide I showed you, as it is given here, some books accept this also and some books accept that also, only apostrophe mark. So these both kind of apostrophes are accepted nowadays. Clear? So both ways it will be correct if you have put a comma and as, then also, but this should happen only with the proper nouns, not with these plural nouns of means plural form of the common nouns. Clear? Only with proper noun, because this as is related to the name. If we will put some students, what do they write THOMA apostrophe mark and as. You change the name itself of a person. The name of a person is Thomas and what you make it, Thoma apostrophe mark s. So it becomes completely wrong. Okay. Now apostrophe, please don't use me incorrectly. It makes me sad. What is this saying? Apostrophe to form plurals of letter or numbers. We have sometimes we have to make plurals of letters and numbers also. Letters means alphabetical letters, alphabets. Neeta got A's on her biology quiz. Now see, A's. A means A grade. Okay, A's. Many A. She got many A in different quizzes. So A's, apostrophe A. Example number 2, there are 6 5s in my SSN. See how we have used apostrophe mark. Inverted comma. Inverted commas are used for quoting something or someone's words. When we want to quote somebody's words, last year we have studied direct indirect. I told you one exercise with 5th C, I have means now 6th C I had done, that I made you stand like a role play we had done. I made you stand in the front side of the room, and I asked you, suppose I told you something and you have to convey the same thing to your mother at home. How will you convey it? So you people told, so you conveyed my word as it is to somebody else, then it means you are quoting my words. Clear? So when we quote somebody else words in our from our own mouth, then it means we have to put inverted commas over there. Like for example, come home directly after school without wasting any time, said Sonam's mom to her. Clear? Come home directly after school without wasting any time, said Sonam's mother to her. So these are the exact words of Sonam's mother to Sonam, that she should go directly to home without wasting any time. The opening and the closing inverted commas should be matching. Clear? Like this. See how this is formed. So this is all for today. I will be sending one assignment that you people have to do in your language notebook. Thank you and have a nice day.